Talking confidently and clearly in modern software development environments is now more critical than ever. And I'm not specifically talking about public speaking to large audiences here, but about being able to talk confidently in day-to-day stressful software development situations. Hi, I'm Rag Diamond, a technical instructor and software architect, and I would like to welcome you to my course titled Talking Confidently for Software Engineers. Gone are the days when we could design, develop and test software within a small team and a small business. We can no longer hack the world and its problems from our computers in isolation. In today's agile software development world, every morning you take part in a team stand-up where you explain your progress and what you're about to do that day. And you also have to take part in regular planning meetings to organize your work, and in these situations you have to stand your ground on suggestions and estimates you make. And even when it comes to technical design, you and your team take a collaborative approach by working on the design around a whiteboard, and again you need to present and defend your ideas clearly and passionately, whilst at the same time having the ability to question others and their ideas. So I hope you'll join me on this course, Talking Confidently for Software Engineers, to learn how to feel confident about talking in stressful software development situations. And at the end of this course, the course provides you with a framework and program to apply several strategies to improve your talking confidence. So why is it so vital for you to be able to talk confidently and calmly as a software engineer? Well, the main reason is that software engineering these days occurs in collaborative but very demanding and stressful situations. In these situations, you constantly need to present and defend your ideas, opinions, objections in front of your peers and your seniors. And being able to do this confidently and calmly is crucial to career progression because you need to achieve clear recognition of your contributions. One of these testing speaking situations might be your daily stand-up as part of your agile methodologies like Scrum. And in this situation, you must confidently present what you have achieved and what you hope to achieve, at the same time presenting and defending your situation, your ideas, your opinions, and objections in front of your peers. So not being able to do this to your fullest potential can lead to people thinking you are not working hard enough and not contributing much daily. You might be the hardest worker on the team, but if you can't confidently express that, people will get the wrong impression every day in the daily stand-up. Then there are other meetings like planning meetings where you plan and estimate your work, and again you must have the ability to defend your suggestions and estimates. As you estimate pieces of work, there will be natural situations where you have to explain your estimates. And there will be situations where you have to question other people's estimates politely and calmly so that the group understands all the details around a piece of work. Again, another situation that requires you to confidently and calmly talk to your peers in length about all the details. Then there are the creative and problem-solving situations where you must work collaboratively around a whiteboard, for example, to design a solution or solve a problem. And in these meetings, people with extensive experience and big egos and opinions will be present. And it doesn't matter what level you are as a software engineer, you should be confident enough to present your ideas and to question the ideas of others, all while being calm and respectful to have a positive collaborative experience while not holding back on what you have to share and say. There are also more one-to-one talking situations like code reviews and pull requests where someone gives you direct feedback about your work. And this might be direct feedback from a senior or a more confident software engineer. And again, in this situation, you should be able to speak confidently and calmly. You should have the confidence to defend your work and the confidence to question your critique so that both parties can learn something from the situation. In these situations, even when you are wrong, you want to feel like you asked the right questions and clearly expressed your viewpoint so that everyone learns from the scenarios. Then there are those even more stressful situations where after a sprint, i.e. a length of development time, you have to present your work to peers, managers and stakeholders from other departments. Clearly explaining what you have developed and why certain decisions were made is an essential skill of confident speaking in these type of situations. You should have the ability to clearly express design decisions, the design against the original requirements, the narrative with product owners and stakeholders during development. And not being able to do this can make the team look complacent when peers and stakeholders question design decisions and you cannot defend or explain. And then there are those crucial team meetings like sprint retros where you look at what the team did well and what the team didn't do well. And again, even in these meetings, there will be occasions where you have to express and defend your opinions, even within the comfort of your own team. And how proactive you are in these sessions, again, reflects how committed and how successful you are within the team. So hopefully from this section, you can see the importance of feeling confident in these modern day software development situations. Your career progression depends on your ability to talk confidently. Before we start on how to become a confident speaker and what matters, i.e. what contributes to you becoming a confident speaker, we need to state that confident speaking is not necessarily about improving your speaking technique or language. You already know how to speak, you do it every day, with family, colleagues, or even on a phone call. Confident speaking is more about how you feel before, during, and after speaking. But before we look at how we can feel confident about talking in stressful situations, it is crucial to analyze unsuccessful methods that, in my experience, place too much emphasis on talking technique and language. Let me give you an example of my first attempt at becoming a confident speaker, taking impromptu speaking classes. Classes where groups of people would gather and you would get a random topic that you would have to get up and discuss in front of everyone. This impromptu method, i.e. talking about a random topic, did nothing to help me become a confident speaker in day-to-day software development situations. Instead, I would freeze and reinforce the idea that I was speaking poorly, and as we will see later on, practicing is good, but high-pressure impromptu speech practice can have the opposite result in terms of building confidence. Another one of my attempts to improve my speaking technique was to take CBT and hypnosis sessions. I tried everything from listening to hypnosis and CBT audiobooks to seeing an actual hypnosis and CBT specialist in person. And again, these ways of improving my speaking technique did nothing to help improve my confidence in speaking and instead made me overthink even more. Revisiting past events and reciting cliché positive statements did nothing to reprogram my speaking ability. Another failed attempt at becoming confident was taking one-to-one elocution lessons to improve my speaking technique again. And this involved improving my use of words and voice. And again, this did nothing to help make me a confident speaker at work, and again did the opposite. I would sit with an elocution speech therapist once a week, reciting old Victorian poems and tongue twisters, not knowing if it was helping. And again, it didn't help. Reciting tongue twisters and old Victorian poems written in a way that people don't talk anymore did the opposite of building confidence, perhaps because this was totally irrelevant to my task. So you can see from these examples of impromptu speaking, hypnosis for confident speaking, and elocution to improve my speaking technique did nothing to improve my speaking confidence. Perhaps these things might have helped in other situations, such as giving a one-off speech, but for my day-to-day needs, they proved unsuccessful. And as you will see in the rest of the course, what makes you a confident speaker is how you feel about speaking, and how you feel about talking before, during, and after speaking. And this is what we will teach in this course. Okay, what is feeling and what does it have to do with being able to talk confidently in stressful software development situations? Well, confidence is a type of feeling. It's when you feel calm, you feel good, and free of too much nervousness and anxiety before, during, and after your talk. For example, if you are not feeling good, if you are not feeling confident, you might not even bother with saying what you need to say or say it to the length you need to say it to. And if your confidence levels are too low and you feel too nervous and anxious before speaking, you might not be able to mentally or physically plan what you need to say. And again, if you've not been able to plan beforehand what you need to say, you may end up saying nothing at all. And again, this feel-good state, this confident feeling state, is also vital when we are talking in our software development situations. While talking in these situations, we may even be questioned, interrupted, and verbally attacked, where we must then present a defense, i.e. talk back confidently. So having this feel-good state, this confident feeling, is also important during talking, so that we can calmly and accurately reply back when challenged. And every time you walk away from these speaking situations, your perceived success of that talk again relies on how confident you feel. We basically need to feel good and confident to summarize all the best points from the talking situation in our favor after the event. And this positive self-analysis after these talking situations is essential because this analysis reinforces the fact around how good you are in terms of confidently talking. So if you feel good and confident even after a speaking situation, you're most likely to reward yourself mentally, and next time you will be even less nervous. Through this positive reinforcement, you will continue to improve. The good news is this confident feeling is all in the brain, and in this course we will focus on 5 areas that help boost this confidence, giving you the ability to talk more confidently. Our 5 areas, our 5 strategies in this course include brain connectivity, brain boosting foods, brain boosting exercise, brain conditioning, and brain imitation. And right now you might be thinking these are very cliche sounding strategies, i.e. obvious sounding solutions, and this course will waste my time. But please trust me, there are very specific things you need to do in each of these areas that are specifically related to boosting your talking confidence. And in this course, we will learn these things. And people who can already confidently talk, either accidentally or intentionally, already do some of these things or even all of these things. We need to get you to a point where you are paying attention to these confidence boosting solutions so you can start using them to become a confident talker. You are also probably wondering about psychological factors, i.e. past negative experiences that undermine your confidence and hinder your ability to talk confidently. The good news is if we can feel good and confident using the 5 strategies, these past bad experiences become smaller issues and minor memories and stop hindering our ability to talk. However, please do note the context of this course is all about feeling good for talking confidently. If you are experiencing psychological and mental health issues, I highly recommend you seek help from a trained professional, as these issues must not be ignored or trivialized. Okay, so the first area we need to address in our mission to feel more confident about talking in professional software development situations is our brain connectivity, i.e. how our brain is wired. We need to acknowledge how we are neurologically wired influences how confident we are and when we are most confident. I never used to believe how we are neurologically wired influenced our confident talking abilities in stressful situations. However, after years of research and experience, it became clear this is a factor. The good news is you can work with what you have, and you just need a better suited strategy to increase your confidence. And you will find that if you struggle to talk confidently in stressful situations, you are most likely predominantly wired as an introvert. And what this means is you are probably more productive in terms of completing tasks and thinking through ideas when you work on your own, in isolation. And in fact, when you work in large groups or in social situations with many people, this drains all your energy. You will start off good and energetic, but by the end of the group activity, you are likely to be mentally exhausted. And you only recover from this mental exhaustion when you are on your own in isolation or with very close immediate family or friends. Whereas if you are extroverted, you most likely love talking in groups, and confident talking is most likely a lesser issue for you, and you come up with your best ideas when you work with a group activity. And instead of being mentally exhausted by working and socializing with people, you are in fact energized by it. You become more sharper, more engaged, and full of ideas when working in a group. And you might even find it hard to concentrate in isolation away from people on a specific task. So if you are having issues talking confidently in group situations, your brain is most likely wired as an introverted brain. You work best in isolation, both for new ideas and to re-energize. For years I was in denial about brain wiring influencing our ability to do something like talking confidently in stressful situations. But when you look at types of athletes, for example, sprinters versus long distance runners, how you are made actually impacts how you perform in different situations. So the first step is acknowledging you have an introvert or an extrovert wired brain, and then we can work out an appropriate strategy for talking confidently. And please note, extroverts can also struggle with speaking in stressful software development situations, and we will also look at a strategy for this. So as an introvert, I have found that the best time I can talk confidently in demanding situations is first thing in the morning when I'm well rested and well fed. I have all my mental resources at hand to cope with the overstimulation my brain experiences from groups of people, a common trait of the introvert experience. I intentionally plan all my meetings for the morning when I'm sharper and more engaged, and use the afternoon to seek isolation so that I can recharge, plan new projects, and think through ideas. And remember, if you are not a morning person, it might be that you are sharper and neurologically more resourced in the afternoon, and therefore use your afternoons for these mentally exhausting meetings and the mornings for working in isolation to recharge and think through ideas. The world, however, obviously doesn't revolve around each of us, and there will be occasions when we need to have a demanding talking situation when we are not at our sharpest. For me, this would be in the afternoon, as I'm most neurologically well-resourced, better in the morning. And in these situations, we need to use the mornings instead to preserve our resources, i.e. preserve our mental energies, so that they are at hand in our afternoon talking sessions. We basically need to avoid anything too mentally draining before our stressful meetings. And to increase our mental energies even more, we need to use other strategies from this course, like eating brain-boosting foods, doing brain-boosting exercises, in addition to resting or preserving our powers in the morning before our stressful talking situation. On occasions where I've had a demanding afternoon design meeting involving big egos and big decisions, I've strategically chosen to work from home in the morning so that I'm fully energetic for the demanding afternoon talking session. So there's an excellent strategy for introverts struggling to talk confidently to strategically use your mental resources. But what about extroverts? What if you are an extrovert who struggles to speak confidently in demanding situations, which might sound like an oxymoron, i.e. a contradiction, but this can happen. You might struggle to talk confidently despite being an extrovert because you consistently fail to plan and prepare adequately for your demanding meetings. And the issue is, planning and preparation for extroverts can be an issue, especially when it's an exercise in isolation, i.e. away from people. And remember, the presence of people energizes extroverted brains. So my recommendation in this situation would be to plan and prepare in public places, which are hustling and bustling places like a busy coffee shop. This will avoid isolation and will keep you energized so that you can think and plan your meetings in advance. I've seen this at first hand with extroverted colleagues and friends who need company in order to plan and prepare, and a public place like a coffee shop or a canteen is perfect for this. So next I'll leave you with a summary in the form of a stepped approach to using brain connectivity as a strategy to build talking confidence. And step 1 is to first establish if you are an introvert, i.e. you like to complete tasks and thoughts in isolation, your mental energy is drained when you are in groups, and you re-energize when you normally work in isolation or with close family and friends. And step 2, if you're an introvert, is to start having your meetings when you are most energized. For me, this would be in the morning. And then work and recover when you are at your least energized. And again, for me, this would be in the afternoon. So as part of this, you also need to work out if you're a morning energized introvert or if you're an afternoon energized introvert. And when it comes to preparation for these stressful talking meetings, prepare in isolation. And again, for me, this would be in the afternoon when I want to naturally work in isolation to recharge my energy. And step 3 is a strategy for those unavoidable, badly timed talks and meetings. Basically, preserve your mental energy beforehand. For example, I like to work from home before the meeting or work in a quiet corner at the office. And also for this badly timed meeting, use the other strategies in this course, like for example using brain boosting foods and using brain boosting exercise. And if you are extroverted, step 1 is to basically confirm that you are extroverted. You work and think best in groups. You are energized by talking to people. You find working in isolation hard. And step 2 for extroverts who are struggling to talk confidently in meetings is to improve your preparation and instead prepare amongst people or with people. Basically avoid isolation when preparing and planning for your meeting, because the lack of planning might be making you nervous when it comes to your natural behavior of talking confidently in groups. And step 3 is there just to highlight, even if you are an extrovert that normally likes talking, the rest of the strategies in this course will still help you become a confident talker in stressful software development situations. And I've included this stepped approach as a printable cheat sheet on the course so that you can easily start using brain connectivity as a strategy for becoming a confident talker.